So, if you're like me, you saw Zelda notes in the Switch 2 Direct and thought, hey, this is pretty cool, really wish this bald man would stop talking though, and overall didn't really think much of it. Maybe you were more enamoured by the performance of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch 2. Well, that's because the Direct itself didn't get into the actual good features of the Zelda Notes part of the Switch 2 app at all. Voice navigation and sharing auto builds were like the only things that were even touched on. I'll be upfront and say that voice navigation is probably the only reasonable way I will ever 100% Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, but it's not a super cool feature, just cool for completionists. Then the auto build feature is cool because it means some of the crazy builds people have made can be shared to basically anyone. Kinda cool, right? Not mind-boggling though. It wasn't until I decided to rewatch the Switch 2 Ports trailer that I realised that wait, why is this trailer 7 minutes and 19 seconds long? I swear it wasn't this long. Yeah, no it wasn't. They decided to save some of the coolest features for this trailer. Things like voice memories, brand new morsels of lore scattered everywhere in the map of both of these giant games with, I think anyway, fully voice-acted voice memories. Also added was play data to see exactly what you've done in your playthrough, medals, which I will get pretty deep into soon, daily rewards and bonuses for scanning amiibos into these games more than once. There's quite a lot to unpack here, but today I want to talk to you about how Zelda Notes is genuinely going to change the way that we play these two Zelda titles, giving them hundreds more hours of content in most cases, why Zelda Notes is genuinely more exciting than I ever thought it could ever be, and how voice memories could fix Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, maybe not, that's gonna need like a whole novel to be fixed, but how voice memories have the potential to fuel theories for years to come while we wait for the next 3D title. Right then, let's start with some surface level stuff. The Amiibo feature and daily reward is just very interesting. They've made a purely single player experience that isn't anything like Animal Crossing or something you pick up daily into something that you feel like you have to turn on daily if it's your first time playing. Like, this is some super cool stuff that could change the way you play for the day. I don't feel like getting into each daily reward, but they're enough to substantially change how you play the game. You could even plan to get certain daily rewards. This could genuinely play into things like speedrunning, even if they probably won't allow it. It's a really cool feature, by far the most surface level we'll talk about today though. Next up, play data and medals. First up, play data itself. I know a lot of people on YouTube love to do crazy stuff like trick shotting. They will spend hours just killing enemies in new and interesting ways, and I'm sure a lot of people out there will boot up these games just to go up and kill a load of enemies for the fun of it. If you enjoy a game enough, you will make your own entertainment. Stuff like this is amazing for community interaction. It means that we always have something to strive toward. Just pick what you want to be a master in and absolutely go ham in that area. That just sounds like a great time. Plus, giving us the flexibility to look at all of this data that the developers just have at all times is surprising for a company like Nintendo that have been very hush with anything like this. Speaking of working towards something, for all of its flaws, one of my big positive points towards Tears of the Kingdom is the idea that you've always got something to do. To some people, that's overwhelming. Well, now with the introduction of the Zelda Notes app, those people are going to be even more sad. No, okay. The people that actually want more to do in their game can go and collect medals to add to their profile. That's right. Nintendo are kinda adding achievements to two of their biggest games of all time. At this point, I became ravenous to try out some of these new features. I can't wait, to be honest. Even if you don't get anything at all for getting these medals, unlike, getting a trophy in a PlayStation game, the idea of being like, yeah, today I'm just gonna be sitting around and defeating enemies so I can get another medal, is so fun to me. Adding even more stuff that you can just center your playthrough around for a session, it's just great. All of this stuff is just adding more options for players that like to play these games in very specific ways. Considering how small of a part it got in the Direct, I genuinely can't believe how big some of these changes are. They clearly want us to play these two games for a long time. They want to keep 3D Zelda in the back of our minds at all times. And if the Zelda Notes app comes out the right way, I could see them succeeding in that endeavour. I am in love with the idea at the very least. And the icing on the cake is voice memories. But first, I have an ad spot for this video, an ad for the Cave Boys. Just a quick one. Go and check out the Cave Boys channel if you like the idea of me, Hyrule Gamer, and Zinc just chilling and talking about various Zelda topics in the most British way possible. And if you run over there in just a couple of hours after this upload, you'll see that we've uploaded an interview with the big man himself, Zeltic. We hope you enjoy. You could convince me that voice memories are the reason why Zelda Notes exists, because what do you mean they've added fully voiced brand new memories all over the map in both Wild Era games? This is a huge development, especially for theory nuts like myself. Just a few days after the Direct, we have a ton more information about the voice memories themselves. As an example, there's going to be 150 plus of these voice memories voiced by Zelda, Master Koga, and Rauru. And even that is really interesting. The fact that they didn't just opt to have Zelda be the poster child for these memories means that they really might have gone above and beyond with these things. The general overview is that you'll go to the area where these voice memories are located, and you'll just get some little morsels of info about that area's importance to the character who's voicing the memory. As a really cool example that's come out in the last few days, there's going to be a voice memory for Zelda on her dad's grave at the top of the Great Plateau. Considering we never really got any information whatsoever on Zelda's thoughts on her dad's death, I'm really interested to see exactly what time period these voice memories cover. Like, will it actually cover her dad's death? Or will it cover a time when her and her dad went to that location years ago? Either way, the positives of this new system are weirdly broad. I'm sure a lot of the voice memories will go over pieces of lore that we're already more than accustomed to. Another example, in Hyrule Castle there seem to be tons and tons of these voice memories. I'm sure a lot of those voice memories will be excerpts out of Zelda's diary. Now, what does this mean for the wider lore of the Zelda series? Well, to be honest, probably not very much. Like, do we really expect that Zelda's going to open up the lore completely? No, but some of the most fun we've had with theory crafting in the Wild Era of games has been piecing together little pieces of information given to us to make a bigger story through a variety of locations. And these voice memories are exactly that. They're little pieces of information that just extend our knowledge on this exact version of Hyrule. Tears of the Kingdom's voice memories will likely give us just a tiny bit more knowledge on the depths, which is a massive question mark in the series lore at the minute. The most interesting thing about these voice memories existing at all is the fact that it doesn't need to exist. Imagine if Zelda Notes was revealed and play data, medals, and voice navigation were the only things that they added. I think that's still more than enough to get people replaying these games over and over, even if it's just so that they can get 100% completion or whatever. The Zelda team wouldn't have added voice memories unless it was something that they absolutely wanted to do, and we know without a shadow of a doubt that the Zelda team really haven't been too bothered about the lore of Tears of the Kingdom in particular. The phrase that people usually use is, the Zelda team get the story out to us as an afterthought. These voice memories, in a sense, are an afterthought. Of course, it's coming way after the fact that the game came out. But the idea that these voice memories weren't needed at all, and they were just made specifically so they could make more lore, that's interesting to me. They wanted to just give us more information about this version of Hyrule, and that is just a good thing, even if it comes way after the fact. Does it mean that the Zelda team will be looking into making a more coherent story in the future? Honestly, probably not. But this hope that the voice memories will actually flesh out this Hyrule even further is exactly what we've needed as a fanbase for the last couple of years, really. Hence, along with all of the other features in Zelda Notes, this is exactly what the fanbase needs right now. As long as the voice memories don't end up being a disappointment, which, to be honest, especially with uploading this video, it's definitely a worry with how the Zelda team have been treating the story in these games in recent years, outside of like Echoes of Wisdom, but they could just end up making these memories just reiterating on things we already know throughout the game. But personally, I'm optimistic. Even though I will say it is a little bit sad that even with the voice memories we have to do it through an app. It's not a deal breaker for me, but I know it is for some people. Those are the only worries or negatives that I really have though. So, what do you guys think about the Zelda Notes section of the Switch app after listening to all of that? Because I'm very excited about the prospect of everything I've mentioned, to be honest. Please do like and subscribe, and thank you to my patrons, especially Sumji. I'll see you guys soon.